Welcome to Midweek Experiments in Faithfulness. This is a weekly facilitated spiritual practice with a Quaker flavor and an experimental ethos. My name is Lahari, and I was a program fellow here at the Beacon Hill Friends House, which is a Quaker center for learning and action and a residential community of about 20 people who live according to Quaker values. Tonight, we have Brent Walsh with the practice, The Friends Tarot, Cards with Quaker Values. Join us for a unique exploration of tarot cards through the lens of Quaker spirituality. Whether you're a seasoned friend or new to Quaker practices, this presentation invites you to discover how tarot can serve as a meaningful tool for spiritual discernment, growth, and connection. Now I'm excited to introduce you to Brent. Brent Walsh is a life coach, a writer, and the program engagement manager here at the Friends House, where he fosters community engagement through empathy, humor, and creativity. With a Master of Divinity from Earlham School of Religion, Brent has dedicated his life to bridging gaps between spirituality and inclusivity. Brent, it's all yours.
Welcome everyone. As Lahari said, if you want to grab a pen and paper, we're going to be doing a little bit of journaling tonight. And so, this is going to be an important part of the program. Now, of course, you don't have to, but it is something that I think could prove to be helpful in order to get the most out of the way that this is set up. So feel free to grab something if you don't have it already. Okay, the Friends Tarot is something that I'm putting together. It's I'm putting together a guidebook for publishing. This is not going to come, at least initially, with cards. It's just going to be the guidebook. So it is going to be able to work with basically any tarot deck that you have. It's especially going to be helpful if you have a tarot deck that kind of uses similar imagery to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. However, there are pictures on the pages, which I will show you. I'll share my screen when we get to that part, and you'll be able to see images. So you don't even have to have a tarot deck in order to participate tonight. But you'll, if you're using it, once I get it finished and published, this is all just kind of an introduction to this whole thing. But once it actually is published, you'll be able to use your own tarot deck with it. And also editing is still in process. So I may be scribbling out notes if I see a typo. If you see a typo, feel free to print it point it out. I am happy to take your feedback on that. As you probably know, if you are here, tarot can speak to each of us in a very unique way. I encourage each of us here tonight to actually tune in to your own intuition. There is a possibility that you'll get a card and you'll be thinking, I don't know, I can't really like place what that card is supposed to mean for my situation. It's okay. That's part of the journaling process, because you can just scribble down some notes, whatever's coming up for you when I read the card to you. And you'll be able to see it, and feel free to take screenshots on your computer if that is helpful, or to like take a picture with your phone. Whatever is helpful for you to actually capture the meaning of the card is fine. But being able to look back on it is part of the impact that this kind of process can offer. Also, I want to say that the definitions that I give here, I just give one definition, and this is a definition that came up for me when I was creating the meanings of the cards. Some of the definitions are very close to the traditional definition of that card in the tarot deck. Others are not. And so and that's good, and that's okay. And it's also good and okay if the definition that I came up with for the card is different than what is coming up for you. Again, write it down. That's important stuff to pay attention to. So Also, I want to mention that the cards are, the way that I've put them together are gender neutral. So even though we still have titles like king and queen and all of those, knights and stuff, there is no gender attached to those. So even if the picture gives you an idea of one gender, it's gender neutral. So I also want to mention that these are intended for reflection. The meanings that I brought here are intended for reflection, not for fortune telling, not for rule making. This isn't telling you what to do or what to think. It is just guidance or something to think about. All right. I also want to mention that I am not Quaker. I am Quaker, what they call Quaker adjacent. And so I have spent a lot of time with people who are Quaker or who, I've spent a lot of time in Quaker community. And so when I was creating these definitions, they're coming from an outsider's perspective, but informed by my own experience with Quaker practice and thought. So what that means is I could get some of it wrong. If I say Quakers are known for this or Quakers believe that, there might be some dispute about what Quakers believe or whatever. So I admit to that and just allow your own intuition to inform what is meaningful about each card. I also want to mention that the recording, we're going to do a group activity where you're not actually going to be like telling us anything. I'll be reading things to you based on certain topics. I have a set of topics that I'm going to pull a card for each topic, and this will be information I'm giving to you, and that part will be recorded, because it's not specific to any one person. But then after that, we're going to turn the recording off and I'm going to offer a card to each person that'll be more specific to you. And that will not be recorded because hopefully we'll have time at the end where if you wanted to share reflections from the card that you were pulled, then you'll be able to do that. I want to give you a little bit of information about what each of the suits represents in this particular guidebook for the Friends Tarot. The suit of Wands is about inner fire, passions, drive, and creativity. And this is the description for the suit of Wands. The wands in the Friends Tarot are all about letting that inner light blaze. This suit is here to remind you that your passions, creativity, and drive aren't just cute little ideas. They are the spark that gets things done. Wands don't do half measures. They want you to live boldly, go after what lights you up, and stop playing small. Every card in this suit pushes you to follow your purpose like you mean it, keeping that fire stoked no matter what obstacles pop up. Inspired by Quaker values, the wands in this deck are about more than just excitement and good vibes. These cards say, live authentically, stand tall in your truth, and let your actions speak louder than words. So when a wand card shows up, you know it's time to get real, get inspired, and get moving. This suit is here to light a fire under you. So take the spark and go set the world on fire. Cups is about inner harmony, the hearts, the feelings, the connections. The cups in the Friends Tarot are here to get you all up in your feelings, the real, raw, messy, beautiful ones. This suit is all about connection with others, with yourself, and with the deep down heartfelt stuff that actually matters. Cups don't play around when it comes to love, friendship, and community. They want you to dive in, feel it all, and bring those relationships to life. Rooted in the Quaker spirit of community and compassion, these cards are a reminder that emotions aren't just side notes. They are the heart of what makes us human. Each cup card challenges you to open up, share your light, and let the people who get you feel that love. Whether it's nurturing bonds, setting boundaries, or showing up fully, the cup's suit says, get real, get vulnerable, and don't be afraid to pour from the heart. So grab your cup, fill it up with meaning, and drink deeply from life's connections. The swords, the inner compass, talk about clarity and fairness and truth. The swords in the Friends Tarot are here to keep it real and slice right through the fluff. This suit is all about clarity, truth, and making decisions that aren't always easy, but are always worth it. When a sword shows up, it's telling you to face reality head on. Use that sharp mind of yours and don't let anyone mess with your sense of truth. Inspired by Quaker values of integrity and honesty, the swords are your inner compass, guiding you to be clear, fair, and bold enough to stand for what's right. The swords suit says, speak up, stay sharp, and don't apologize for knowing what you know. So take that clarity, wield it wisely, and trust your inner compass to cut through the noise. And finally, we have pentacles. That's about inner grounding, security, goals, and abundance. The pentacles in the Friends Tarot are here to remind you that dreams don't just happen. You build them brick by brick. This suit is all about staying grounded, handling your business, and creating a life that's both abundant and meaningful. Pentacles are the steady force, here to keep you rooted and focused on what really matters: true wealth, stability, and that sweet balance between work and rest. Drawing on Quaker values of simplicity and stewardship, the pentacles are like that wise friend who keeps it real, reminding you to take care of what you have and grow something solid. These cards say, invest in what counts, be generous where you can, and know that wealth isn't just what's in your pocket. So dig deep, stay steady, and let your hard work blossom into something lasting and true. When a pentacle shows up, you know it's time to roll up your sleeves and create a legacy worth holding on to. All right, now I am going to share my screen. What we have here, this is going to be a group activity. This is the part where I'm going to draw a card that is for each of these topics. The first one, aligning with your inner truth. The second one, opening to joy. Third one, cultivating inner peace. Fourth one, navigating challenges. And the fifth one, living with purpose. And the way this is going to work is that there's going to be one meaning for each of these cards, but it's going to be up to you how you translate the meaning to your experience with, for instance, aligning with our inner truth. So it's going to be for all of us, but hopefully each one of us will bring something different out of it. I also want to mention that I am using Biddy Tarot's tarot deck. Right? I love her too. I love the artwork for Biddy Tarot. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I wrote these down so that I would have them in front of me. The first one is aligning with our inner truth. So this is going to be the first card I draw. And the question here, the query is, what is the truth that we most need to see or embrace within ourselves? The card we have for that is the Queen of Pentacles. And I'm going to show you the Queen of Pentacles here. a nurturing force. Again, the question aligning with our inner truth. What is the truth that we most need to see or embrace within ourselves? The Queen of Pentacles is all about building a life that's solid and abundant. You're the ultimate nurturer, making sure your people feel safe and supported. But here's one thing you already know. Abundance doesn't just waltz in. It takes dedication, patience, and a dash of hustle to make it happen. Quakers value simplicity and stewardship. And this card says, take care of your world and everyone in it, but don't forget about you. You've got warmth, practicality, and detail, and a detail game that's second to none. And people know that they can lean on you. But let's get one thing straight. You deserve the same energy you're giving out. Stay grounded, own your worth, and let that steady spirit show everyone how it's done. The quote at the bottom is, to love and nurture others, you must first fill your own cup. That's how you show up whole. All right. The next one is opening to joy. How can we welcome more joy and gratitude into our lives right now? And the card we have is the Wheel of Fortune. A twisty turn. Transformation is rarely polite and civilized. It usually feels like a tilt-a-whirl, a wild ride that assaults your equilibrium and leaves you throwing up in the bushes when it finally lets go of you. The Wheel of Fortune warns of twists and turns, but here's the deal. None of it is random. Quakers realize that everything's part of the divine plan, even when it feels like chaos. This card says, even when life gets crazy, roll with it. You're growing, even if it feels out of control right now. It's not about trying to steer the wheel. It's about trusting that every bump, every high, and every low is helping you transform into who you're meant to be. So buckle up, raise your arms in the air, and let the ride do what the ride's gonna do. The quote at the bottom says, trust in the wait, embrace the uncertainty, enjoy the beauty of becoming. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. How does this help you to open to joy? All right, cultivating inner peace. What can we release or embrace to find greater peace within ourselves? Survey says the Six of Cups. Nostalgia, a reflective journey. The Six of Cups is pulling out that dusty old photo album with reminders of embarrassing hairdos and fashion that's so dated it's cool again. This card is calling you to reconnect with those roots and soak up the grounding energy they offer. Your past, whether people, places, or memories, is full of insights that can help guide your next steps. Quakers often talk about staying true to foundational values. And this card is a reminder that your past is a treasure trove of wisdom and resources. Revisit the connections and experiences that have shaped you. After all, the past is what helps shape the future. Oh, and put those old photos away before that hairdo starts looking good to you again. The quote here is, what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. How does this help to cultivate inner peace? What can we release or embrace to find greater peace within ourselves? All right, we've got navigating challenges. How can we approach current struggles with wisdom and grace? The card for this one is the Eight of Pentacles. a dedicated path to remind you that says navigating challenges. How can we approach current struggles with wisdom and grace? Some folks try to put their growth and development in the express lane, perhaps with a high-dollar weekend up-level retreat. But the Eight of Pentacles is here to remind you that your self-development will be the extended kind, lasting well into the future. You're an artist tending to every little detail of your masterpiece. Every little thing you do is a chance to get sharper, wiser, and more aligned with who you're meant to be. The Quaker testimony of simplicity is on full display as you avoid flash-in-the-pan schemes to get everything you want in just 3 days. Keep it simple and use the tools you already have. Take pride in every detail, and in the end, you'll have a finished product you can be truly proud of. How does this speak to navigating challenges for you? Oh, the quote here. True self-mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of steady, deliberate practice. And finally, we have living with purpose. What steps can we take to move closer to lives that reflect our values and purpose? The card is the Five of Cups. Living with purpose. What steps can we take to move closer to lives that reflect our values and purpose? A reflective challenge. The Five of Cups is here to remind you that disappointments hold lessons if you're willing to look for them. Sure, things might not have gone the way you'd hoped, and oh, how that hurts. But this card suggests that there are things that you can take. I think I found a typo here. There are things you can take those experiences. I'm not sure what that means. I'll have to go back to that one. Think of it as composting the pain of your past to preserve nutrients that you can add to the next phase of your life. The insights you harvest later will be rich with the wisdom from your experiences. Quaker spirituality leaves plenty of room for reflection and growth, and part of that comes from difficult moments in an all-too-human journey. This card says, turn around, pick up what you've learned, and keep going. You've got more cups to fill. The quote says, scars remind us where we've been. They don't have to dictate where we're going. And that was for living with purpose. What steps can we take to move closer to lives that reflect our values and purpose? How does this card speak to that for you? All right, now I'm going to show you, let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit. I'm going to show you the list for individual readings. And what I want you to do is just take a moment to write down these topics. You don't have to write down the question underneath each topic, but just write down each of these topics, because what I'm going to ask you to do when I come to you, and we can go ahead and if you are watching the recording here, we're going to go ahead and stop the recording because this turns into more of an individual reading that's going to be just for the participants here. So thank you for joining us if you are watching this by recording.